Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to Rassle Rock with Rick Connor.
What the F was that entire freaking promo about?
Mark Hallbacher.
She's like the James Ellsworth of women.
And Cory Castle.
I look like Paul London and Brian Kendrick mixed.
Cory Castle isn't here. I am here, and Rick Connor isn't here. Hey, as he would start the show. Hey, welcome to Rassle Rock. I'm Cory Castle, and this might be the second episode of Rassle Rock that's been hosted without Rick at it. For sure, the first one since we started recording from our own homes. When we used to record at the studio, there was never an episode without him. Whenever we recorded here, there was never an episode without him. So bear with us. We're doing what I'm deciding to call a takeover. We're hacking into the feed. Rassle Rock is coming at you without Rick's availability because Christmas has got him running around like crazy. So here we are. We wanted to present you with a show this week, and we didn't want to skip another week of the show for the vast majority of our humongous net of listeners who just love to listen to the show. And they love our dynamic and our opinions about pro wrestling, and here we are to deliver them to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just weird without Rick here.
Yeah, well, we're not gonna get the production value. You're gonna get one still image that says Rassle Rock that's behind us. If you're watching on YouTube channel, youtube.com/Rassle Rock. Or if you're on YouTube already anyway, go to youtube.com/Cory Castle and subscribe to my channel.
You don't get all the grumbles in the background too when he's trying to set everything up. And...
what is this? I wanted to kind of. Now I know you said you didn't watch it fully. And you said you only watch clips, but for sure, winter is coming is something that is unavoidable in talking about when it comes to wrestling podcasts for the week.
Oh, the Daniel Bryan match?
Daniel Bryan and Hangman Page. No, Hangman Adam Page and Bryan Danielson. American Dragon.
I'm in my sick person sweater today.
Did you steal it from a sick person, or is it yours and you're a sick person?
I'm a sick person today.
So, what did you get a chance to check out, Mark?
I saw Bryan Danielson versus Hangman, but it was only the 10-minute clip they put online. Mm-hmm. From what I saw, solid match. I just have this thing about Hangman, and the same thing I have with Kenny Omega. Hangman uses the buckshot lariat too much, and I think Kenny Omega uses the V-trigger too much. So, near the end, everybody's all getting excited, and it's like, dude, it's like the fourth buckshot lariat. I can't get excited over this anymore. But I've also, believe me, I had a dude flip out on me last week because he's training to be a wrestler, and he's a huge Hangman fan.
Okay, who's this person? Where's he training? And why did he flip out on you?
Because he's one of those dudes, he's not a wrestling mark, he's an AEW mark. He doesn't watch anything but AEW, and that's all. And WWE's the evil corporation now, and everything they put on television is not good, and blah blah. It's like, dude, you're just lying to yourself. Yeah, WWE puts a lot of garbage out, but that whole Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar thing at the end of the show was awesome. Yeah, man, incredible. The storytelling and the emotions, the performances by Paul Heyman, they're just unmatched. Nobody else can have. You know what? Oh, I'm talking about the evil empire that is the WWE. We're going to get shut down because AEW marks aren't going to listen to our podcast anymore because all we're talking about is WWE and Roman Reigns. Because, that's all we're talking about, really, as far as when it comes to SmackDown. Because you break down that whole entire segment, Roman Reigns like digging into him, like, all the things that led up to right then and there when it happened, like, Brock coming back at SummerSlam when his suspension was going to be lifted, all that stuff. And then, give him the big hug and tell him he loved you, and Heyman doing the whole, sniveling, like, I love you and all that stuff. I thought it was really well done.
The only thing I disliked was that Brock hit the F5 too many times. And that's the same thing with the buckshot lariat.
Yeah.
Brock hits the F5 too much. I'm like, this move means nothing. This move means nothing. You hit it too many times, too often.
There's no impact to the move because they keep doing it over and over and over again.
Right.
You watch a Kenny Omega match, and I got to listen to Excalibur scream V-trigger like 30 times in a match. And then Dave Meltzer's on there online the next day giving it like a 7.5 star match. And it's like 30 V triggers. Like,
well,
I get it. You like the storyline, but like when it comes to actual wrestling, it's like, come on, man, like do something else. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like Hangman Page is very, very much improved.
But
I still don't think he's the guy that they think he is. That's me. But, Bryan Danielson in there wrestling against him. Bryan Danielson can make you look like a star no matter what.
Dude, he elevated Hangman so big. Like, Hangman has never been as big of a star as he was after that match. That he held his own for 30 minutes against Bryan Danielson. And that's... I mean, granted, leading up to it, Bryan was like, all right, well... I won WrestleMania, and then I was wrestling the next day. The fact that Hangman wasn't wrestling the next day, kind of like didn't put him on Bryan's level at all. And then having this match, it kind of showed the opposite of that. It put him a little bit on Bryan's level, but at the same time, he's not the kind of champion that Bryan's been in the past.
No. He's not the level of wrestler. He's not the level of a character.
Right.
He's Bryan Danielson.
He's a Virginia cowboy. I don't get. I mean, what?
I don't know. I haven't been to Virginia in like 20 years. Like, I couldn't tell you. I don't remember.
Is there cowboys in Virginia?
Not that I remember.
I don't know. I don't ever. I've wrestled in Virginia a bunch of times. I've never seen cowboys in Virginia. But I mean, I could.
Politicians.
What's that?
There's a lot of entitled politicians in Virginia. That's about it.
Yeah, well, also
That's what it should have been. He should have been like the Senator Page, the Councilman Page.
Councilman. You know what's weird? Going into the story of it, and I think I've talked about this on the podcast before. But going into it, he was like, oh yeah, I think everyone can relate to me. Like him talking about it and being like, oh, he took out all my friends, and I think everyone can relate to me. Like, no, not everyone can relate to you, dude. You're handsome, and you're getting the push, and no one, that doesn't happen to everybody.
Yeah, and your dime store cowboy shirts.
Oh yeah.
Nobody can relate to those things.
It's it's like you'd wear that to a NASCAR race, maybe.
Not even, dude. Maybe a rodeo if you were actually riding the bull. I don't get it. But like I said, like it was a good match. I think the wrong guy won, or not won.
No one won. No one.
He got the belt back, but I really think Bryan Danielson. I think they should have like.
Oh, he will. They just. But the thing is, man, I said watching it because I watch it with my girl, and she's not a wrestling fan, really. And when we're watching it, I was like, I don't think they're going to having this be Hangman Adam Page's first title defense, right? Like they're not going to have him lose it that quick.
No.
Because he just wanted to have Full Gear, right?
I think they just had to play off that. Like, I really think that right now Bryan Danielson is red hot. And it's like, you have a chance at AEW. Like, they try to pretend that they don't do this stuff. But you really have a chance to, like, really stick it in the WWE by having a guy who's headlining WrestleMania as their world champion. You know, I just think it was the better move. I get why they're going with Hangman Page. They're really trying to build him into, like, a a Sting, or I'm trying to think, maybe even like a Bret Hart type character, that beloved baby face that kind of doesn't exist anymore.
Right. Well, like it's not happening with it's not happening with Cody. That's not going to happen.
Because Cody, stop with the reality shows. Stop with like this branching out. You try to act like you're this guy who loves wrestling so much, and he's the Miz. Every time you turn around, he's doing another reality show. He's doing another game show. He's doing everything but wrestling. And like AEW, that fan base is not a fan base where you do that stuff with, man.
Right. I think did they boo him again? Like as far as there was something with
Adam Lambert last night.
Yeah. That was the thing I saw. I was like, what? Well, they're not acting the way you're expecting them to act. They're booing all of this.
What a fun surprise Adam Lambert became. Like, that guy's a great promo.
I feel like that's dumb. Like, I don't like that gimmick. Like, I've seen it a million times. It's so many people have done it better.
I don't know. Every time he gets in the ring, the first thing I say when I see him is, "How about it?" I don't know why. It just reminds me of Pete Rose when he gets in the ring. How about it? Yeah,
it's strange. You know what? I get into my head sometimes when I look at somebody like that guy, or like what's it, Brandon Cutler or whatever, and I'm like, these people are making a living wage in my business that I've worked my entire life in, and I'm serving tables. Like, but at the same time, I have to know that those people suck, and I don't. You know what I mean? Like, that's a way that I justify it to myself. I'm like, oh, those people kind of like suck, and maybe people in their real lives don't really respect them.
You never know, man. Like, I don't know. Yeah, like next time they come to town, do they ever like poach up like any like local talent to go wrestle like dark matches or anything like that? I don't know if they do what WWE does when they.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I don't know how you get it like poached for that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to say that I'm super thirsty right now, but I'm just saying, like, it's not easy to not compare yourself to somebody who you see is on TV and in the wrestling business and getting exposure when you work really hard and don't have it.
I get it, dude. I get it. I watch these dudes in the ring. Some of them, I'm like, dude, I could do that. Like,
right.
That's not really a talent. Like Brandon Cutler, like he was a mediocre wrestler. He had this little like, was it D&D gimmick? He would come out with a giant die. I think for him being the lackey to the Bucks is a better thing for him, because I think it covers up the fact that he's mediocre and he can just do comedy spots, and then the Bucks get to keep one of their friends around, you know.
Mm-hmm. But, well, they went to like elementary school with the guy.
Speaking of friends, where are the Good Brothers?
Did you? Oh, you didn't watch Rampage last night?
No.
Oh no! I'm sorry, Rampage. I was thinking you were talking about the Best Friends. The Good Brothers, I have no idea. The Best Friends.
I know they were part of what, Impact, and I haven't seen them on Impact either. I haven't seen clips of them or anything. So.
Well, I think with like Kenny walking away, they like stopped being so present on AEW because of Kenny not being there. Kenny was the reason I think that they were coming out to the ring and stuff.
Okay. And
now, since Kenny's not been there, they haven't been there. Which
I did see that. That was a great match. It was the Best Friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Versus the Super Click. That was a great match. Like, the Bucks didn't do too much, where the Bucks start to annoy me with the multiple pinfalls and all the weird stuff they do to drag out a match. Mm-hmm. It was just a fun, exciting match, and I like how Orange Cassidy and what's his name?
Trent
Beretta
mm-hmm.
ended up being like getting profiled very well in that match. I thought that was really good.
You know what I noticed just yesterday, which I hadn't noticed before? Trent for a while had his Twitter handle was Trent with a question mark, and the ring announcer announced him as Trent Beretta on Rampage last night. I thought that was
weird. His weird vertebreaker I don't like.
Yeah, but like honestly, man, you gotta go. Like this guy, he had like spinal fusion surgery, like vertebrae surgery, and yeah, and he's back, and he's still bumping the same way he was before.
Oh yeah, dude! Like last week with Sue and the caravan showing up and him getting out, and then dropping the Best Friends music. I thought they did a great job bringing him back and profiling him, man. Like he was always a solid wrestler. Like even in WWE, when WWE booted him, he was good back then.
What's weird is the Young Bucks. Like it's kind of strange to be like the CEOs or like the VPs or whatever, and like have inside knowledge of the like goings on of AEW, and to incorporate that into whatever you're talking about. Like they did a promo backstage where they were like crap talking on the Best Friends and the Best Friend's mom, or Trent Beretta's mom, and then they're like, "Oh, we're gonna take her job," blah. And then they're like, we're gonna end her career, and it was like, what? And it's like, yeah, she gets W-2s. Like that was like, all right, she's never paid a single due, I'm sure.
But she does a better job than Buff Bagwell's mom.
Yeah,
they just put her on a pallet.
Shelton Benjamin's mom.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. Shelton Benjamin's creepy mom.
How many moms are going to have to get into the business before we realize none of them have any talent?
Look, I like the gimmick with her coming down with the caravan, but then later they brought her in the ring and she was dancing in the ring. I'm like, oh, mom, don't do that. But the other thing I want to talk about is Kevin Owens got paid.
Yeah, I didn't hear too many actual details on that, and I was going to ask you if you had.
Kevin Owens did an extension. It looks like possibly, I didn't get the full deets, but I think it's 2 years. And he got paid. They haven't given a number out yet, but they had to pay him. I think it's like $2 to $3 million. I think it was is the rumor. I don't know if it's $1.5 million a year or $1 million a year, but he got, and like, you know what? It sucks that he won't be in AEW and I can't see those matches in AEW. But with WWE's roster being so bad, like I'm just happy to see like someone like Kevin Owens on WWE's roster, so I have someone to look forward to on WWE.
I mean, I don't think he would be a good fit right away in AEW anyway. Like they already got they eventually, yeah. I mean, who even knows? Like, think 5 years into the future. Where is the entire wrestling business going to be? WWE will probably be owned by somebody else. And let me also bring that up. The point that I was thinking, like, the whole, like, Nick Kahn connection with The Rock. Did you see that whole thing? That like, conspiracy theories going around that, like, The Rock will own the WWE because he purchased the XFL from Vince?
I've heard rumors of it.
And he like is childhood friends with Nick Kahn, who's, you know, the vice president of WWE, and Nick Kahn's sister was the showrunner, the booker for Young Rock when that was on TV.
I just don't know, like, how much do you think they're going to sell the company for?
Yeah, I don't see that decision being made. I mean,
you know, The Rock's going to have to get investors. I don't care.
Right. Yeah.
Like, what's his net worth? I'm looking it up now.
Yeah, but even if The Rock is not going to spend his own money, and if he can talk to some venture capitalists and speak them in, into, convince them that it's a good idea for them to help him purchase the WWE. That seems more likely than The Rock putting his own money on the line.
Well, that's what I see too. I see more what happens is the Rock's going to get a small share, maybe like 5 or 10% share, and it's going to be like some kind of conglomerate, venture, like you said, venture capitalist. Excuse me. And then I see him just being the figurehead of WWE when he goes in there. But here's the thing, too. Like, does The Rock want to do that? He's still pretty successful in movies. His movies haven't been that good in the last couple of years. I mean, Red Notice was stupid but fun. Black Adam's going to be weird because he's a bad guy, and they're doing a movie about a bad guy. I don't know. And that Disney, the Jungle Boat thing or whatever did not go over well.
Did it come out?
Yeah, it came out. I think it's on Disney Plus already.
Oh, man.
Jungle Cruise. I haven't watched it yet. But he averages like, he pulls in like $10 billion a year or something like that. Or something. It's like insane how much he pulls in money wise.
I'm not looking for a demotion here. Like in WWE, if you think if he's one of the owners of WWE, he will still have the time to do all the other stuff. You know what I mean? Maybe that's part of him being like, all right, well, I'm only in name and in likeness the figurehead of this company, but it's running without me.
What they can do is do him as a figurehead, and then what it is they can do a bunch of pre-recorded shit with him, and then just do it that way. And then he can go do his own thing, and then on Monday nights and all, they'll just do like backstage skits with him there, and then like, you know, kind of like how, I don't know, Botox McMahon, he's so creepy looking now with him pushing Austin Theory, which, hey, I'm not against it.
You stole the egg. That reminds me of a move I do. I'd steal the egg.
I remember when Matt Flowers came up to us, like 3 years ago, and told us that Austin Theory was going to be the future of wrestling. I think he was like 19 at the time.
Yeah, I do remember that. But he also had some problematic stuff, so it looked like it was going to not happen there for me. So, it's all, let's see, like, go back to the analogy of looking at wrestling in 5 years, right? Yeah. So, in 5 years, you're still going to have, in AEW, like, guys in their 20s who are their top guys. Darby Allin, MJF, what's the guy's name? Sammy Guevara. Like, they're priming the next kind of generation. And then, so speaking about that, the SmackDown, they had a tag match that was like Charlotte and somebody against and Shotzi. Yeah.
Which I don't understand. I still don't understand Shotzi being a heel. But whatever.
Against Toni Storm and Sasha Banks.
At least she's still there, unlike Tegan Nox, who just got the boot out of nowhere. But I can see why Tegan Nox got it. She never looked like she was the same after her double knee surgeries. It's a shame. She was a really talented, very good-looking girl, good personality. I think she would have been a star if she didn't blow out both her knees. But they had that match, and they finally let Toni Storm win. But it was just it was another roll-up. It's just another roll-up.
Can I say that I think that since Toni Storm's been on the main roster, her matches have sucked. Like, she was so good in NXT. I don't understand why, like, in WWE, like, whatever she's doing, somehow it's just not, not the same level of good.
I think I said it on the one show where you jumped on late because I think you had a family party or something.
Right, yeah.
I said, like, it's a shame, and I was telling people, if you really want to see what Toni Storm's all about, go to NXT UK and watch her matches with Rhea Ripley. And then you're going to see how special Rhea Ripley is, too, which people don't really understand because they really haven't handled her well either. Right. They did, and then they let Charlotte steamroll her, and she's never been the same.
Well, and then they stuck her in a team with the woman Hurricane, and no one's taking her seriously.
Well, of course, because the female Hurricane. The problem with Nikki Ash is she takes herself too seriously. Oh, you can be a superhero too. Whereas the Hurricane had that great intro where it looked like he was flying. Nothing was ever taken seriously, and it was just a more fun gimmick that people can get behind. Like, you run around telling everybody they can be a superhero really doesn't,
Yeah, it feels like far from the polls. You know what I mean? It feels far from the point of what you're trying to accomplish with a superhero gimmick.
Yeah, it does.
Like, and calling it almost superhero minimalizes that she's dressed like a superhero. Like, oh, I'm almost a superhero. I'm dressed just like a super. I believe it. No, yeah, but it's still almost though.
No, she if they made her feel like she was a real superstar, that was the whole thing with the Hurricanes gimmick too. He actually believed he was a superhero. He would try chokeslamming dudes that were 4 times the size of him.
Right.
And it was just hilarious. He would grab him and try to lift him, and he couldn't lift him, but he believed he could. Mm-hmm. And then something would happen where he could actually get him in the air and drop him, and it was amazing. That's the problem. That's where they're dropping the ball with that. They're not watching what the Hurricane did. Right. Again, they don't want to do the same gimmick, but if you're going to do another superhero gimmick, you kind of have to. You kind of have to.
Yeah.
I wanted to get back to the Kevin Owens thing real quick, because everybody was talking about Owens going to AEW and they're going to start up Mount Rushmore and all this other stuff. I think what's going to happen now is you have Owens on WWE instead of Mount Rushmore. We're going to get Kyle O'Reilly shows up in a couple weeks, and then I don't know when Roddy's contract's up. And when Roddy leaves,
you have the whole Undisputed Era reunited.
I don't know what they're going to call themselves. They reunite in AEW. They go to war against the Bucks, Kenny Omega, and maybe Hangman. And it could be awesome. It could be absolutely awesome.
You know, it was a weird thing I was thinking about during that match. What was it? Who was all in the match? It was Adam Cole, the Young Bucks, and somebody else, right? Against was not Jurassic Express. Man, who was
they were wrestling Jurassic Express. It was the 3 of them versus Jurassic Express and Christian.
Oh, I was talking about it yesterday.
Oh, yesterday? No, it was the Best Friends versus Super Clip.
Yes. Okay. So
Jurassic Express showed up at the end of the night to
right.
If you want to go after the titles, which, dude, I'm super excited for that. Lucha Brothers versus Jurassic Express. I think that could be really good.
Okay, so what I was thinking in that match, because I look at Adam Cole like he's like a main event guy.
Yes.
And it was like I was watching Adam Cole in the match with these non-main event guys that like was dragging his value down a bit. And just watching and who else was I thinking? And I thought that about Bobby Fish too. I was like, Bobby Fish is like a main event guy, and Adam Cole was like a main event guy. The Young Bucks are not like main event guys. They're like a tag team. That's it.
I tell you, man, Bobby, I didn't realize how good he is because like he was injured so many times when he was in NXT.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That top rope Falcon's arrow he pulled off.
Right. Oh, like it was effortlessly. It was like he made it look super easy, and it was just like, oh yeah, this is a completely complex. Very you gotta have it timed so perfectly.
And then he adds his Muay Thai background and everything he does, and he's just so pretty to watch. So pretty. Same with Adam. Adam Cole is just so pretty to watch. And I see what you're talking about. It almost devalues him. But what I think it is they brought too many guys in. And
well, yeah, that's what the other reason why I said I don't think Kevin Owens would fit. The current AEW, Kevin Owens wouldn't fit or Kevin Steen wouldn't fit because they brought in so many people. How can you highlight all of those people?
Yeah, and then Malachi Black, his boy from ROH, just got signed. Mm-hmm. I got a weird feeling Johnny Gargano showing up in a week or two. You know, if they don't figure out, I hope Johnny doesn't re-sign with NXT. He's just going to be a trainer, and I just think he's so good. I think he deserves because he never got on WWE. I think he deserves to be on a main event show to show how good he is. I mean, he was the guy.
He was on Raw a couple times, maybe, right?
Yeah. Well, they were doing that thing where him and Ciampa,
yeah,
feuding for the tag titles.
And they were feuding with each other in NXT, and they're like, "Oh, look, they're a team here now in the main roster." Like the continuity. What's that? Get out of here!
Yeah, and they were feuding with Ricochet and Malachi Black now.
Malachi, yeah.
And it was, dude, their matches were stellar, absolutely stellar. I don't even want to talk about it. Ricochet. Just makes me sad. It just makes me sad.
It's because it's impossible to use him correctly in WWE. Dude, did you watch Ridge Holland against Cesaro last night?
No.
Oh boy, that was good. That was a good match.
Was it? I feel it would probably be real hard hitting.
Yes,
it was. I don't know. I have no desire to watch anything with Sheamus in it anymore. And it's not against Sheamus. He's really good. He's been there for so long.
It's just he's overexposed. Yeah, you're overexposed to Sheamus. Like you're like, oh man, what now? Like, what? And he's what?
Super talented.
Mm-hmm.
He can wrestle. He can brawl better than anybody I've seen. Like he's so talented. But it's just like enough. Go away from why. That's the whole thing with WWE. They just won't send people away. Like put them under like their downside or whatever, and tell them to like sit on their butt for about 3-4 months and just take a rest. Bring them back. Just give us a break.
Yeah, I see where we're coming from on that. I could definitely I think he would definitely benefit from taking some time off, going away, and maybe it would have been a perfect time when he like broke his nose, when he got his nose all damaged, and instead of having him come with a fiberglass mask onto his face, they should just had him sit at home for a couple months.
Pretty much, I think that's what they should have done. But
But maybe that's a pride thing. Maybe that's an ego thing. And he's like, oh, look, I want to show how tough I am. I can take that and still come back. I don't know. Who knows?
The whole thing, though, is like, I don't know. I think he broke his nose, and Vince, because he loves that face mask gimmick.
Yeah, he's had 100 people do it now.
Yeah, Cody Rhodes did it.
Cody Rhodes did it. Trish Stratus did it. Scott Steiner did it. Randy Orton did it. Like,
I think Cody Rhodes did it the best.
Yeah, totally. With the bag and everything, the bags were the best. That he made everybody in the audience put bags over their heads.
He did a Victor Von Doom gimmick. He basically did a gimmick where he was Victor Von Doom, because if you know anything about the comics in Doom, Doom wears a mask because he was like this beautiful man. All he had was like a cut here.
Right.
And he thought he was ugly for the rest of his life, and that's why he wears the mask. And I thought it was really good how he didn't want people looking at him, and he put the masks on their head. And like, I thought that was, the bags, it was such a great gimmick.
Well, I've been saying, like, he should bring that back for his heel run in AEW. Dude, a heel Cody in AEW would be so money, but like he is forcing himself to go against that. Like he is pushing the idea of being a heel out, because if he's a heel in WWE, people on the outside who are trying to watch his reality show or watch him on the Go Big show won't like him. And he wants to be universally liked in everything else besides wrestling too. And that's, people understand that it doesn't have to, just because you're a heel on a pro wrestling show doesn't mean that people aren't going to like you other places,
Yeah. I don't know. I just that's one of the things I detach from when it comes to AEW. I really don't pay attention to anything Cody's doing. We get to look forward to, what is it, CM Punk, Sting, and Darby Allin wrestling next week?
Is it a 6-man tag?
Yeah, 6-man tag.
With the Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page.
Yeah.
And is Dan Lambert in that match?
No, I think somebody else is. I think it's who's Punk feuding with?
MJF.
MJF, yeah, I think it's MJF. It's just one of those rare things we're going to see CM Punk and Sting in a tag team match.
Yeah, that's weird. I'm cool with watching it. But it's just strange to see. Did you hear the Cult of Meat with Extra Cheese song?
What?
Somebody had sent in, like, I guess Jim Cornette wrote these words down for the cheeseburger version of the Cult of Personality song.
Really?
Oh my God, it's so dumb. Look on my plate, what do you see? the cold tough meat with extra cheese. It's definitely worth checking out. It's so dumb.
I had to take a break from Jim. I love Jim Cornette, but man, there's some days it's just like, dude, his anger and his negativity. I just have to take a break from all that. A lot of these wrestling shows are so negative. They never talk about the positives. The only one who does is like Simon Miller. Like he's the only one who tries to like accentuate all the positives of wrestling. We try to do it here.
Well, I mean, I listen to JR also, and JR is pretty positive about.
Is he?
Yeah, he's pretty up about loving the business and not fat shaming wrestling fans. He said people who shame wrestling fans, it's like fat shaming, but somehow it's more acceptable. Don't do that. These are people who are passionate about something. You should acknowledge that. You should celebrate that. They have something that they love, and you're gonna play it off like it's like it. Yeah, get over yourself.
Yeah, the one good thing is I'm probably going to start seeing AEW more because I got a couple of requests on Wednesday nights when I bartend to put on one of the TVs.
Oh, cool.
It all depends on the Sixers and Flyers if I can put it on or not. But I'm going to I've been trying to catch up on it because it's just a lot of good stuff going on. I've been paying attention to that. I've been checking out the Matt Cardona versus Moose over at Impact.
Okay, I haven't checked any of that now.
Well, I don't think Cardona's winning, so. I mean, I don't know. That's all I've been doing, and then I tried to watch some of Raw on Monday, and I just couldn't do it.
Does Impact have fans back in their building yet, or is it still empty buildings?
I don't know why you would have empty buildings still. Like the pandemic's been over.
Do they still have it?
I don't know. I can't remember. No, they have crowds, but they're really small. It's like a little television studio.
Uh-huh. It feels like it's happening in a vacuum. You know what I mean? It feels like no one's paying attention to it. It kind of feels just like episodes of my podcast.
I do apologize. I didn't see the final ROH pay-per-view. I didn't see any of that. I apologize. I heard it was really good. I heard a lot of guys, there were ROH guys from AEW popped up in the show.
Yeah, I saw that CM Punk did like a pre-recorded.
I tried to watch it. It's like bad quality. Like a poor quality, like recording.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just that's all I've been doing. I watched, like I said, I watched the girls wrestle the tag match. I saw the Roman Reigns thing. I'm kind of over Xavier Woods as the king already.
It seems very much like. It seems very much like it's hokey as hell. Like it's just so it's like for little kids. It feels like something that's for little kids.
I don't mind that's hokey. My whole problem is I thought it was going to lead to something. I thought he was going to either like end up turning on Kofi or something like that and being like an evil king or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it's just like him standing there with Kofi next to him doing the same New Day stuff they were doing before.
Except for now he's talking like King Booker.
Yeah, and then people are like kissing his ring, and I was like, I can't do it.
Dude, the whole like backstage segment where there's like a whole bunch of like main roster dudes who are like, oh, Billy the King, man, and then kissing his ring and all that stuff. It made me go like, how badly do these people who are doing extra work in this scene feel? Like, who are main roster dudes looking like jobbery.
Yeah.
The same with like when there was a bunch of main roster dudes cheering for an egg and Vince McMahon getting out of a truck. Like, no one cared. Like, no one would do that in real life.
Yeah, no one would.
Not once. Not once would anyone ever do that. It kind of makes. I mean, I don't want to say I'd be embarrassed if I were them, but like I just wouldn't do it. Like I would be like, no, dude, that's not. Like I don't know. At the DCW show this weekend, they were like, oh, after the main event's over, we're doing this segment to like tease for the Rumble. this is all who's going out. This guy's go out. And they said me, and I was like, I'm not going out there. Nah, I don't want to. Like, I was like, that's like, the Battle Royal running gimmick setups are like for mid-carders, and I'm a main eventer. I'm not doing it.
How did your match with Eddie Valentine go?
It was awesome. It was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I beat the shit out of him. See, we'll be able to watch it on DCW Overdrive TV. I think on Christmas Day is when Rick said it would be up on the YouTube channel. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. I know that when I hit my finisher, it felt like it couldn't have been hit better. Like it was like the perfect hit. And then as soon as I pinned him and like got off, he rolled over and puked all over the mat.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Picture perfect.
Jesus. You all right?
Yeah. He was just he said that he landed on something. He landed on his kidneys or something when it came to the finisher move. Something like that, or his ribs or something, and it just triggered something. I mean, it's not the first time he's puked in a match. I've seen it before. But yeah, he's all right.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he's doing great. But the matches on the DCW card, as time goes on, it looks like the company is going to be getting better and better. The storylines are all set up to make everybody look like TV stars. Yeah. Even though we're just a local independent show that runs at a rinky-dink fire hall with 100 fans.
Mm-hmm.
That's more pro wrestling than anything else anyone else is ever doing.
All right, well, let's do who wins like wrestling. My sicky boy needs to go back to bed.
Can you fumble through the? I think it's about that time. Say that where we shine a light.
I don't remember what he says ever.
I think it's about that time where every week we shine the spotlight on who we think did the best in a segment we like to call.
This hokey show.
This is the most B-rate episode of Rassle Rock you'll get this year. Is this going to be the last episode that we record of 2021? We should. Yeah, we should do that as a kind of a wrap up of like the best stuff from 2021. We should do.
That's a whole research.
Well, I'm not saying don't have fun with it. I think it can be fun. I'm saying just do work. It's just going to do a bunch of work and it's not going to be rewarding at all. I think we could have some fun with it. Anyway, who do you got for a pick on who wins wrestling?
I am definitely going with Kevin Owens. I think he got the money he deserved for everything he's put into WWE, all the years, all the pain. He's done a bunch. Like I thought he was done, and then he turned around and put him through a table on Monday night. I was like, geez, man, like this guy gets no respect. I'm glad he's still with WWE. Like I said, it gives me someone to look forward to watching on Raw, because Raw is really rough for me right now, unless it's like AJ Styles and he's barely on right now.
Right.
But, good for him, man. Like good to know your worth and leverage so you can get paid and get taken care of.
All right. Good pick. Good good reasons. Good reasons for that pick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Bryan Danielson, because that was definitely like I for sure ranked that up. Like watching that match from start to finish. Like, I mean, even watching the picture-in-picture, it was such a good match that I would say it's still like it's already one of the all-time best wrestling matches like ever.
He's just killed it since he's walked in the door in AEW. Like his Kenny Omega match was great. A couple of those Cole Cabana
match was really, really good.
Really good, where he knocked the caps out of Cole Cabana's face. Like, the John Silver match was good. Like he's just been rolling, and it's like the weird thing is you can tell you can tell he still hasn't even hit a stride yet. That's the insane thing about Brian Danielson.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be their world champion, and he'll make that world championship mean something that no one else has been able to do.
Yeah,
like the belt will be more legitimized than anything else that has ever happened with that belt. Like, for sure. I mean, I get it. Chris Jericho was the first champion. Chris Jericho, he legitimized the company by being their first world champion. But also, got to give honorable mention to Hangman Page. I mean,
he put on one of the best matches he's had his entire
Daniel
career.
Bryan cannot have a great match with somebody without them also being great.
No, it was one of the best matches he had his entire career. That was
for sure.
Top
for
3
sure.
matches he had.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's all good that he did that. I mean, it helps make his star shine brighter. Yeah.
I want to mention something, and I mentioned this on the show before, and I it's, to me, one of the problems with any booking these days. I don't get it. I really dislike it very much. When somebody is the champion and they got to fight somebody and this person has to beat them for a chance to get their championship, like, so just, you got to beat the champion twice? I don't like that. I never liked that. And it's all like within the last like 5 years they've started doing this. Like
WWE does it more than anybody. They always do that, like we saw Tony Storm pin Charlotte Flair.
Right.
Like they do this thing where it's like, you have to like beat the champion multiple times before you get your championship match.
Right. That's so dumb. Like, it feels like a video game. It doesn't feel like if you beat the championship, if you beat the champion and you don't get the championship, then you're like, oh well. Now they're gonna know that they're easily beat by me, and they'll work harder to think about how to get around my stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's psychology wise, and the fact, like, why did they do a match? Why did AEW do a match for the Dynamite Diamond ring, which isn't a championship? Like, how is he now going on 3-time champion? You've never lost the thing. You can't be 3-time champion of a thing that isn't a belt, it isn't an official thing. Like, and like, there was a battle royal for your thing. You're still holding it, and you're in that battle royal. I just don't get that. Like, why is that? Why is that compelling? Why is that something that people are like, oh wow, he might lose his diamond ring by Zales? He went to Jared.
I don't know. I really think he shouldn't have won. I mean, 3 times in a row. I get what they're doing, but like, I think it would have been better if Punk came down and cost him it. Just to add more heat onto the fire for their match. I don't think he needed to have it for the 3rd time. I don't think it should have been Dante Martin either. I think it should have been somebody else. But I definitely think they needed to put that ring. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the ring anyway. It looked weird, and the ring looked stupid.
And then they just had the Usos get beat by the New Day, so that they're going to wrestle them for the titles at the Day 1 pay-per-view. It's like, why did they lose? Why did they lose, though? Like, they're the champions. Why did you make your champions lose? Like, they like go way out of their way to protect some people from losing. And why aren't they protecting their champions from losing? Like, it doesn't make you look like you're somebody who deserves to stay champion if you can get beat like that.
Yeah, like I said, WWE's done it for years. Like, everybody always beats the champion, and then they roll up the champion, and then they do this, and then you finally get to the championship match, and either they finally lose, and never beat the champion, or they beat the champion and there's no impact to him beating the champion because he's already done it 3 times.
Right. Yeah, it's instead of a pop, it's a poop. The crowd don't care.
Yeah, speaking of that crowd, man, that SmackDown crowd, they have got to stop sweetening the crowd noise.
Yeah,
it makes no sense, like the noise that goes off during certain moves. And
what's interesting, man, is the crowd is really torn in that whole Brock and Roman thing because the crowd loves Roman. They were chanting like crazy for him. Like when he did the acknowledge me thing, they would not stop acknowledging him. But it's it's funny to see because he's so good. It's like people are like, oh, we can't deny that this guy is as good as he says he is.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, he's now established. You need to, and he's the main guy. You need to make a number 2. You need to finally go into SmackDown and make someone that's like at least, someone else that will interest you and actually want to go see SmackDown, let alone a pay-per-view with any of the characters in it. They just don't have a 2 yet. It's like, dude,
would there? You think about Sami Zayn's short, buff nurses. That's so stupid. Like everybody who watched that was like, yeah, we know these guys are just like local indie wrestling guys. Like these aren't just buff nurses. And also the fact that Brock went to throw them both out of the ring and both of them couldn't get out of the ring correctly. Like, it was just as we say, herky-jerky. It was very herky-jerky, and these guys couldn't, like, figure out that going through the middle, just go over the top if you can't. Like, I don't understand what.
I think what it was is they're not used to Brock, and Brock just leveled them, and they were so caught up.
Yeah, probably. They're like, oh man, this guy's hitting us for real.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. And they just got mauled by him. They had no idea what to do. They didn't even know which part of the ring they were facing, anything by the time he was done hitting them.
Yeah. All right, man. I think that's about it for us. You got anything you gonna plug or anything, Mark? No.
I'm gonna go back to bed for like 3 hours because I still have to work tonight.
Everybody.
Off when we're sick.
Right? Yeah, that's very true. I see it. I'm in the industry now. I get it. But check out WrestleRock.com for all the T-shirts. Check out Rick's YouTube channel. Check out the Rassle Rock YouTube channel. Rick's been putting up these Wrestle Bell Rock videos. Each one of them is associated with the charity. Very fun, very entertaining, and all to raise awareness for these charities. So one more time, I have to say it, even if he's not here to hear me say it. What a human who's very interested in giving back to humans, even when he doesn't have tons to give. He will do everything he possibly can to use his resources. So I'm very proud of my friend, and I would really like everyone to hit subscribe to the YouTube channel and blow it up for the efforts that this man is making. Also, check out my podcast, Evolving with Cory Castle, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you subscribe to quality podcasts. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Cory Castle, right here on the screen. If you're watching on YouTube, at Cory Castle. My DMs are always open. Need a friend? Need somebody to talk to about wrestling? You wanna let me know you exist. That's what I love. I love knowing that the words that we're speaking into these microphones are going into the ears of people who care. So if you care, let us know you exist. Comment below on YouTube, and follow us on the stuff, and jump into the DMs and let us know what you think. For Rick Connor, for Mark Kalbacher, I'm Cory Castle. Oh wait, no, you know what? I'll say it like Rick does. For On Rassle Rock, I'm Cory Castle.
Mark Kalbacher.
and be fun. Have safe. Let's take it out like we always do with Mr. Nick Burke. It's so hard to say goodbye. That's how it goes, right? Take care, guys.
See you.
It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. Join us again for another episode of Rassle Rock. This has been Jay Davis speaking.